Senators, I stand for America, I stand for the American people, and in that respect, this bill does too. Today, we have a wide plethora of problems facing our nation. And among those problems, a major one is inequality. The Glass-Steagall Act is important in tackling this issue of inequality. A second problem is the economic instability that may be caused in the economic insecurity of millions of our citizens. And what this bill does, it helps reduce economic risk. Finally, the bill also helps limit and restrict the size and power of large and massive financial institutions. So what is the root of this income inequality? According to Senator Elizabeth Warren, it might as well be these large and massive financial institutions that place a monopoly in the complex American financial system. This bill effectively helps reduce the scope, size, and capacity of these large institutions. By the bill, which breaks apart banks to only allow them to engage in commercial banking activities or investment banking activities, and restricts the same entity from doing both, it restricts the size of these large institutions. And according to Senator Elizabeth Warren, immediately, as soon as you place a restriction on the capacity of these financial institutions, your immediate result is going to be reduced inequality. Second, we all remember very recently the fresh sorrows brought upon us and our nation and our countrymen by the 2008 recession. It left millions unemployed. It made families starve. It snatched food out of the mouths of children. And this bill may have played a role in helping prevent that. This was passed near the end of the Great Depression, and what this did during the 1930s was help reduce the dramatic effects of the Great Depression. You see, one of the reasons behind the crash in 2008 was executives taking too much risk. The regular market forces were not able to reduce the risks executives took. And the reason for that is that they engaged in speculative investment with the money from customers, which were insured by federal governments. So they were using insured money to help take risky investments. Meaning, we were supporting the risky investments of these banks with the money of taxpayers. These are private entities, private corporations that are being helped by taxpayer money. Our purpose of our taxpayer money is not to make the rich richer. So senators, I strongly urge you to stand with me. I strongly urge you to stand with the American people and vote in affirmation of this bill to reinstate the 2013 Glass-Steagall Act. Thank you.
Okay, that speech was 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Questions? Senator Solon?
Senator, given that we already have legislation preventing monopolies from occurring, why do we need to reinstate the Glass-Steagall Act?
This doesn't prevent monopolies from occurring. You see, a complex system fails in complex ways, meaning that when a system like the American financial system fails, it's various different factors. So while we have current legislation like the Dodd-Frank Act, we can create legislation to complement it, and among those legislation is the Glass-Steagall Act. To address the complex factors, we need to make a variety of legislation. Thank you.
Senator Nirmala?
Senator, don't you believe that by reducing the size of these too-big-to-fail banks, you are actually reducing the diversification in the economy?
What we're doing is we're reducing the diversification of these banks, yes, but that is an unfortunate byproduct because their diversification happens to be with the money out of the wallets of ordinary citizens. We can't allow that. I'd rather these banks not be able to diversify to an extent, limit their capacity to diversify while saving our money.
Senator Iyer?
Senator, is there any hard evidence that would prove that this act could have prevented the financial crisis?
It would have ultimately reduced the capacity of these banks to take risks with taxpayer money, and that automatically that reduced risk-taking mindset would have prevented 2008 crisis, because a major factor behind the crisis was them taking too much speculative risk and taking too risky investments.
Last question, Senator Sahana.
Senator, what jurisdiction does the United States government have to regulate these private corporations?
the United States government has several regulatory agencies working on different parts of the banking system, but this bill is completely within our jurisdiction to limit if that's your question, I hope I answered your question, it's completely within our jurisdiction to limit the capacity of these, what activities these banks participate in.
All right, thank you, Senator.